I think what we're seeing is influenza doing what influenza does, striking in the middle of winter with an epidemic where you're seeing a lot of community transmission.
Quebec is currently on track for its worst flu season in 10 years, with more than 4,600 cases reported in the last week alone. Current data shows that Quebec is recording the busiest influenza season since 2014, with the positivity rate last week standing at 32%. That's almost double what Quebec usually sees in the worst weeks of the season. Infectious diseases specialist Dr. Donald Vin alerts that the flu season has yet to reach its peak.
We're just starting. If you look at our curves, especially in Quebec, that curve is going steep up. It is not anywhere near a plateau. Once we get to a plateau, who knows how long we'll be there before we have a descent. And that means a lot of people will get sick in that time.
An increase in both influenza A and B were identified by the province's Public Health Institute. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Jesse Papenburg says when this happens, higher rates are expected.
This year, there appears to be more cases than on average, but we don't know yet because the season is not yet over.
Both Dr. Papenburg and Dr. Vin don't believe that the peak of the season has been reached yet, saying the next 4 or 5 weeks will continue to be difficult.
We have to remember that the people who get sick are not just the frail elderly people. We have young people who get very sick, not just sick that they're missing school, but as we've seen in other parts of the world, like in the United States, sick enough to die.
We're seeing right now at the Montreal Children's Hospital a real influx of influenza cases in our emergency department and also on our pediatric wards. And in fact, we've even had some cases that have required intensive care unit admission. So we're really in the thick of what is a rather intense influenza season.
Though it's unknown why the virus is circulating at high rates, Dr. Vin says that this year's vaccination turnout was significantly low, averaging around 40% when they normally aim for 80%. Dr. Papenburg urges Quebecers to get vaccinated for free, saying it's still not too late.
If you're sick, stay at home and especially try to avoid being in contact with our most vulnerable populations, which means our elderly population and very young children, because those are the ones who are at highest risk of hospitalization.
In Montreal, Tehosterihens Deer, City News.